What's up guys, it's Pablo here and welcome back to my channel. In today's video we're gonna talk about a topic that it's really important and every beginner investor should know and understand. Everyone talks about investing like it's something super easy, you just have to put money in and let it grow, but it's not like that. There is a harsh reality that especially beginners investors don't understand and don't even take in consideration. We are talking about tax, fees, inflation, all that kind of things that eat your capital slowly and quietly. The goal of this video is to really understand what happens to your money in order not to have false expectation about the market, about money, or about investing. And without further hesitate, let's start with the video. Okay guys, what I have right here is a super useful investing calculator that show you a simulation of your capital and of your investments and lets you play a little bit with your money, showing you especially how inflation and how capital gain tax affects your investments. With this tool, you can change different parameters, so the invested capital, the investment period, the yearly performance, the capital gain tax, and the inflation rate per year. What I've represented right here through this simulation is the thought of most beginner investors. So a simulation with 0% inflation rate and 0% capital gain tax, which is completely wrong, and I'm gonna show you later why. In this case, you can see from the graphic we have our starting capital of $10,000 that turns in almost $50,000 gain, which is super beautiful, that's a super performance, but sadly that's not the reality. In reality, if we want to make an accurate simulation, we have to put an around 20% of capital gain tax. This depends obviously on the country you live in, and an inflation rate of 2%. And why 2%? Because that's the goal interest rate of central banks. As you can see from the graphic, things have completely changed. Our starting capital of $10,000 has been eaten by inflation. We are left with a buying power of almost a half. We have a capital gain tax of almost $10,000 and our gain after tax are just $20,000. So less than the half that we had before. And this is crazy because this graphic really show you the reality of things. You are most probably not going to become rich through investing because your starting capital is too low. If you already have a lot of money and you invest them, then you could live off dividends. But for most people, that's not the case. So that's what I want to show you guys, not to have false expectation. Investing low capitals won't make you rich. And now you probably ask yourself, what's the point of investing? And well, you're not totally wrong, but the question is, what are the alternatives? There is nothing else that you can do to preserve your capital, because that is what we are talking about. Investing helps you preserve your capital, and yes, it grows with time, but it's not gonna make you rich. But now I want to show you guys an exception, because there are countries that have 0% capital gain tax. And those countries are really the only options if you really want to become rich through investments. Then you should probably consider moving in these countries. But I know that many of you are not willing to do that. So we take this just as an exception. And as you can see, if I bring the capital gain tax to 0, the green part of the graphic, so our gain after tax and inflation, is significantly higher. But this is really just an exception of countries like Switzerland, Singapore, Cayman Islands, Monaco, Belgium, and New Zealand. And there are also other countries, but these are the main ones that I found. And yeah, so obviously living in these countries and investing with your financial residence in these countries is obviously better for investing, but not everybody can do that. So that was it for today's video. It's just a simple video to show you guys the reality of things, to show you how capital gain tax and inflation rate affects your portfolio. But most important, this doesn't mean that you don't have to invest. Investing is really important to preserve your capital and to make it work for you a little bit, but keep in mind that this is not going to make you rich if you don't put enough capital in it. And nothing, for today's video, that's all. I hope you guys liked it. As always, please leave a like if you liked the video, leave a comment to let me know what you think about it, and don't forget, in the description there is the link to this beautiful tool. You can play a little bit with it and see how your portfolio could potentially grow in the future. So guys, thank you again for watching and see you next time.